Well, hello everyone. Shane Healy's my name, and I've had the enjoyable adventure of leaving St Pat's Cathedral in East Melbourne and driving due north. And I've arrived here in the parish of Epping and Epping North. Now, it's two schools, it's one very old church, it's one magnificent new facility, and that's where we are here at the moment, at the school of St Mary of the Cross, Mackillop. And I'm sitting alongside Principal Geraldine Dalton. Come a bit forward, Geraldine,
hello,
so everyone can hear you, and welcome.
Thank you.
Now, we're in what we call the Galleria, the open space. So
That's correct.
It's just the most beautiful entrance to a school I think I've seen in a long, long time. How old's the school? Tell us about where it's come from. It basically came from rocks, I'm told.
It did, yes. The school's been here for 5 years. Our establishment was 2013, and we call this the Galleria. It's a shared community space between parish and school. So during the week, as you can see in here, parents spend a lot of time here before and after school. And then on the weekends, the parish use it for various community activities.
So as we talk, we'll be panning around and showing you parts of this magnificent Galleria space. The parish secretary is here running the show beautifully. We've got the sacred space, as they call it over there, where they can have masses and meetings, and beyond are a series of classrooms and just magnificent outside facilities. And I must say to the people who designed this, we're about to meet the great man himself in just a moment. This is something that I think the entire community of Epping and Epping North can just be so proud of. So we're going to talk now to Maurie Cooney, and Maurie, welcome.
Thanks, Shane.
You're the man in charge. You've been here 10 years.
10 and a half years.
And was this Epping North growth planned over a long period, or did it sort of just explode?
Shane, when I arrived here 10 and a half years ago, August 06, the parish office was at St Peter's Epping, where it continues to be. However, in those days, the parish boundaries included South Morang, Mernda and Whittlesea.
Right.
Epping North was still paddocks. 4 years ago, parish boundaries were changed by the archdiocesan leaders. So now, with our parish office at St Peter's Epping, we've expanded into Epping North, where there's massive development already happened and more planned. So much so that at the beginning of 2019, we'll be established in Wollert, one of the forthcoming suburbs that the state government is settling up, but we'll be in there very early for that. So it's constantly an experience of looking to the horizon whilst maintaining the great tradition this parish has, having had a church here since 1865.
So tell us about that original church. I'm told by Geraldine it may be the second oldest church in Melbourne.
Outside of the city of Melbourne area, Shane, St Augustine's Keilor was the first, and then St Peter's Epping in 1865, which is just 30 years after the foundation of Melbourne in 1835. So long ago, the Catholics moved into this area. They built the church here, which in those days was serviced by what was called the Coburg Mission and the Heidelberg Mission, becoming a parish formally in 1913, but church activity all those intervening years. Then there have been several waves of residential development, a major one in the 1970s, and we'll see that around the St Peter's area, and these developments now that are just months old in Epping North and not yet to happen in a lot of villages.
So tell me, Geraldine or Maurie, just about the growth of the school. I think you had one grade 6 graduate.
That's
in your
correct.
first year. Tell us how it's going now. You might need to lean a bit forward so we can hear you well.
So when we opened, Shane, we had 1 year 6 and we had 23 in prep and 58 students altogether.
Wow.
In our first year. And we now have 370 students. So it's been very steep growth for us over the last 4 years. And this year, for example, we have 92 preps and 14 in year 6. So we have every indication that we're going to keep growing for the next few years.
Tell us, Maurie or Geraldine, about the types of families here in Epping North. Are they young, working families, I'm guessing?
Yes, they are. The majority of our families are children and parents are born overseas, so we have a high population of Indian descent families here, Sri Lankan, and the rest very multicultural community it is here. We have a lot of second and third generation families as well. So it's a very diverse and multicultural community.
Well, one noticeable factor, Shane, would be that around the established St Peter's area, many of our parishioners are older people, Australian-born, Maltese-born, Italian-born, with a new wave of Samoan people that we're noticing coming in. Whereas in the St Mary of the Cross MacKillop part of our parish, almost all of our community are young families, with primary school aged children, secondary school aged children.
Now, Geraldine gave me a lovely potential segue earlier when she talked about the Indian people moving in here to this parish, because sitting alongside Maurie is Martin Jeremias, and Martin has been here 2 years out of India.
Yeah.
So Martin, firstly, welcome.
Thank you.
I'm going to walk around and say hello. Pete, you keep the camera right on Martin. Tell me about your 2 years here in Epping North, and maybe talk to the camera.
Yeah. This is my first parish in Australia. Back home I was in a parish and in seminary, and coming here I felt at home because 51 nationalities residing in Epping North, so that gave me a comfortable situation to work with the people here.
Thanks, Martin. And Maurie, one of the things you said to me earlier when we were chatting here in the Galleria was the way this parish has been able to help younger priests to really get their start, I guess.
We're set up beautifully for that. We have a very skilled and committed parish staff. We have 8 members of parish staff. Only 2 are full-time, Martin and me. The others are spread across various ministries and activities. And they're people who love the church and are committed to the church and who see themselves as partners with the priests.
That's great.
And that's a very important attitude, I think, for incoming priests to recognise. Then we have major facilities that require a priest's involvement. Our 2 parish primary schools, our very large St Monica's Catholic College, 2,000 students and 300 staff, and a very large and demanding public hospital, the Northern Hospital, with heading towards 400 beds, where both Martin and I are chaplains on call.
Wow.
So straight away, the incoming priest must be involved in various aspects of the pastorate.
Martin, how have you found your 2 years in terms of learnings to be alongside someone like Maurie, who has great experience, and also to be in such a, well, what appears to me, an enlivened parish?
It was a good experience for me, and I'm still learning many things because it's a new experience.
Yeah.
So it's everything different from back home, so I'm still learning. I think it's a very good parish to learn more.
Well, look, the countdown's on, folks. I'm not going to be able to talk for too much longer because Geraldine's now going to explain to you what is going to happen in this Galleria area sometime in the next 2 minutes.
That's right, we have our, it's almost time for school to finish, so lots of parents are arriving now and the students will be exiting the school, and this is a meeting point for students and parents, and that will be happening very soon.
This space is what we refer to as our second church, or our sacred space at Epping North. It's the multi-purpose area of the school. On Saturday night Mass, we'd gather on average 130 people here, at times more than that, who celebrate Mass together. That group has developed a very lively social consciousness, both for interaction and concern for the general neighbourhood. I like the design of it. It's soft enough to be gathering for prayer and worship, yet for the school's purposes it's hardy enough for children's activity. We're standing in the front part of this area, and the floor design is interesting. Just by changing the pattern on the floor, it describes this area as something different, and it's our sanctuary area for Mass on the weekends. And it's appreciated by our local people very much as their church space where we celebrate Eucharist, and our people like the glass. It's having Eucharist in the midst of the neighbourhood, and we like that feature of the way we gather here at Epping North.
Well, hello again. We've now made it to the heart of Epping, St Peter's here in Epping, and I'm again with Maurie and Martin, and also we're now at the local conference for St Vincent de Paul. So Maurie, just explain what we've got here in terms of the people we're going to meet, but also how this operates.
It's a former double garage, as you might be able to see, not used for that purpose whatsoever, but now used as storage for our local Vinnies people. With us here at the moment are Anthony and Jason, two of the members of the conference, which I think has, how many members, Anthony, do you reckon? Jason?
Nearly around 40 plus.
Around 40 plus. That's a pretty strong conference, isn't
Yes,
it?
it is.
Yeah. One of the needs in our area for Vinnies calls is new families, new homeowners,
yes,
both parents working, mortgaged beyond what they're capable of, and looking good but needing basics.
It's a pleasure to meet the people, and we always help them with the difficulties and what is the basic needs which they needed. And we get the support from the local parish and the church and these schools around. So families bring some stuff to us and we'll allocate it.